Hey guys, it's Aubrey with Muttleyplans. I hope that everybody had a good month of March and is having a good beginning of April. I don't know about y'all, but my month of March was definitely had a bunch of ups and downs and all arounds, but made it through. So that's always a plus. Figured I would do a quick flip through of my March monthly, my March weeklies, and then also my journal pages in the month of March. Redacted, of course, because this is my real life journal. So, but anyway, that just fell. Okay. This is how thick she is getting, and as you'll see, I pretty much tip in whatever the heck I want, but yeah, this is what she looks like. This is the A5 compact. My one deal is that next year I'm definitely gonna move to get probably the full year just split into two separate books, or the full year in one book. I haven't quite decided yet, because while I did initially plan for this to be full-time in, oh, there's a gum wrapper, full-time in this, and let me just pull it back. Oh, nope, wrong way. Okay. Sorry if y'all can see my mess. Anyway, I did initially intend to carry this full-time in my traveler's notebook with a couple of other key notebooks, but as it has gotten thicker, if you can tell, that is not quite as feasible as I originally thought it would be. Now then, I could take out one or two of my other journals, but I just haven't felt the need, because truthfully, something I found, since this is my pretty planner, not my functional planner, so basically I strictly do memory keeping and stuff like that in this planner, and journaling. It stays on my desk for the most part. My workhorse journal is this one. So the weekly into, I think it's the compact, but it's a full year. Yeah, it's compact. Is where I keep like all of my work and tracking and stuff like that in it. Which I don't really share this a whole lot, because this is work-based and you don't need to know everything about my work. So anyway, moving on. Yeah, that's just kind of what I'm thinking about for potential changes for next year. I haven't made any full decisions. We're going to see how this one ends. I'm not necessarily somebody who will jump from planner to planner. So I will finish this planner out without buying a new one and jumping into that. Because I'm cheap, and then also it would drive me nuts that I would have like the first 4 months not done. So for me, it's just better to push through. And I am really loving this planner and the setup and everything. It's just a size issue at this point. Anyway, so moving on, I am going to open up. So this is my mood board. This is also a little packet from Coffee Monsters Co. that I just taped in here because I thought it was cute. You know, it's the two couple or friends, whatever. I think it's a couple watching the sunrise, and so I thought that was super cute. This is my my vision board. So I do have a few things that I am working towards. So yeah, I thought this was just kind of a really cute vision board, and I did it the OG way. So I threw in a couple of photos of me and my husband, but other than that, everything else was things like ephemera that I had collected over the years, a couple of stickers, and then some magazine clippings that I threw in here. That hasn't changed. I have not kept up with this at all this year. I might go back in and backfill some of it. I haven't quite decided yet. And then I did add a couple of photos in here. So just one of our older pup Elvira. She's our big black dog. And then a picture of my husband sleeping. I'm sure he'll love to see that when he watches this video. And then I also have this really cute photo of Macy, who is our Aussie, and Velcro, who is just a purebred mutt. And they were looking out the window in the studio, and my husband snapped this picture and sent it to me. I was like, oh my gosh, it's so cute. So threw that in there. This is just the same. I did go in and mark. So this is to track my workouts, okay? And if you saw my setup, let me pull you in a little closer. Right there. Looks about good, right? Anyway, I'm supposed to be tracking upper, lower, and cardio workouts, and then if I hit 10K. So if you look in January, I kind of sort of did a mix, but then your cardio girl reverted back to just doing cardio. And even then, like, I seem to start very strong at the beginning of the month, and then I die off towards the end. And that's pretty consistent, like that first half of the month, and then after that it's like, wait, what'd you do? Where'd you go? So I need to be better, and that's honestly where this tracker comes in, because one of my goals for the year is to incorporate more resistance training, so upper body training and lower body, and not just stick to just cardio, which I haven't been doing for the past 2 months. So that's helped me maneuver my goals for April to where I am pushing myself to do more resistance training mixed in with my cardio. I don't think I'll ever not be cardio heavy because, well, I really like cardio, but I do know that I can be better, and that it would be better for me. All right, so I started out with this great idea in January that I was going to do all the pretty things, and it looked really cool. Like, I went in and I planned, and I was like, these are the markers that would go along with my theme, and here's my theme. And then the next month I was like, I'm just going to track the inks that I used for the month. And then that went by the wayside, and I just slapped a bunch of stickers down. Here I was going to collect monthly highlights. I might come back in and backfill it, but I haven't. I barely kept up with any of my tracking. You could see January I did fabulous. But yeah, and I do track quite a bit of this stuff in my day-to-day planner, my everyday carry. So I can go back in and backfill this, but I don't know. Maybe if I catch a board day or something. So, and as you can see, I haven't even set up April at all in this planner. It's just, I track everything in my other planner that this, I don't know. And maybe I have even thought about making this to where I track social media and YouTube-y stuff and stuff like that in here. I don't know. I haven't quite decided yet. But I will revisit that, and hopefully in the April flip through, you'll have a pretty good idea of what I decided. I just loved how February turned out. But March was so clean and beautiful, and I loved it as well. Like, I just loved how it's this gold foiling with the purple flower stickers. I had a ball putting this together. It was so much fun. And so and actually I need to mark that I did not meet this goal. So I had 6 main goals in the month of March. Pay off my car, which I did. Do Devo every day, which I did not do. I missed it by 2 days. I had 2 days that I just completely brain farted and forgot to do Devo, which is not good. So I'll do better this month. Also get 15 subs on YouTube. So the other months, my goals were not anything to do with YouTube, but I was like at 13 subscribers at the end of February, and I was like, man, if I just get 3 more subscribers, or 2 more, I think at that point, then I would be so stoked if I could be at 15 subscribers by the end of March. And then I kind of got blown away because now I have like 31, and I had 30 by the end of March, which is so, I don't know. Anyway, it was pretty crazy. I know in the grand schemes of things, that's not like a whole lot, but like, I don't know. It was pretty cool. Anyway, moving on. 10 steps 10 times. So one of my other goals was to get 10,000 steps 10 times in the month of March. I did not meet that. I missed it by 1 day. And I mean, I got to, I think it was the 30th of March, and I realized that I didn't have 10 days done. I only had 9. And it was like 6 p.m. at night, and I was like, oof, do I want to crank out and try to get to 10,000 steps? And I checked like my little step tracker, and it was like, you've only done 2,000 steps today. I was like, no, I'm not. I'm gonna take the L. So I only got to 9 days at 10,000 steps. But I did read one book. I read Fire, which was a book that I read probably 15 years ago in high school. And yeah, it's a good book. It's not as good as I remembered it being. Actually, it flipped. So now I'm reading the first book in the series. I know I read them all backwards, but I go through an app called Libby, and Fire was available before Graceling, which is what I'm reading now. And so I just chose to read Fire first. Anyway, but it's actually flipped, and now I am completely enjoying reading Graceling. Anyway, I'll probably talk more about that on a setup or something. But anyway, yeah, so I did read one book, and me and my husband did go on one hike. So we really, I don't know, I think overall I did good. Obviously these two, I need to do better, and so I actually carried these 2 over into the month of April, and I've just recycled them, and they're my goals again. I've decided that it's completely doable for me to put 6 goals for the month to achieve, as long as I keep them, realistic, right? So and I'm sure a lot of y'all are like looking at this and being like, oh my gosh, only one book, I read 5. Yes, it is hard for me to sit down and read one book, but I do want to get better or more in a habit, whatever you want to call it, reading more books. This month was kind of birthday heavy. So like my birthday, my 31st birthday, was here on the 4th. And then I had my brother-in-law's birthday, and then 2 of my friends, which I actually didn't mark them down, had birthdays as well. And then on top of that, we had a huge family trip to Broken Bow, Oklahoma the last weekend. Yeah, so it was pretty big. Things that I got or bought this past month was my Kelvin actually bought me the Twisby Espresso Bronze for my birthday. I love it. It's so pretty. Anyway, so I've been enjoying it. It's been inked up with Robert Oster's Coffee Monsters Co. since I got it. I also bought a car the day after my birthday. It wasn't because of my birthday. It's just been, it had been almost a month since I hadn't had a vehicle. Anyway, so, but I was able to buy the Rogue because I, that Friday, got to pay off my loan from my car that had broke down in the month of February. So that was pretty fun. Covered a few games for my part-time job. And, oh, that's a sneak peek to the other month. Okay, so now for February. So March starts right here. It started on a weekend. So this was a spread that you've already seen, but this was the weekend start for March. I've kind of gotten in the habit, sometimes, not all the time, but of doing like just a to-do list on Sundays, because honestly, the weekend, I spend the majority of my time not really doing a whole lot, and so I'm not in my planner a whole lot. I also failed at this budget check-in, so, and then I failed at the budget check-in again. This is the second week of March, so I went with a vintage antique theme, I guess. I was really digging this antique pressed flower look, and just all of the colors. I love the different peaches and pinks and oranges and you know, the muted like sagey greens, and so I just felt like carrying it over into this week as well, and so I did. Plus I had these little card stock deals of old TVs and radios and cassettes and stuff like that, that I wanted to use, and so that also played into me having this theme. I also used my Twisby Espresso Bronze as the pin for this, and it's that TMC Robert Oster collab in the ink called Coffee Monster. So yeah, this was a pretty decent week, you know, kind of busy. It was very busy, but not too shabby. And then I moved into here, and I actually didn't video myself doing this. I forget what I put out instead of this, but I was kind of wanting to do like a relaxing like journal wherever, not necessarily at my desk this week. So I went ahead and didn't plan or film this plan with me, and this theme that I went for was self-care. So I've decided that I'm gonna try and do themes for the different plan with me's, and this one was just self-care in general. I had this washi tape. I got it at a store in OKC called Chirps and Cheers. It's a stationery store. To my knowledge, it is the only stationery store in OKC. Please correct me if I'm wrong, though, and you know of another store, because I love stationery stores. I love going to the local ones because they always have these awesome little washi tapes that you can't necessarily find as easily online and stuff like that. So I enjoy it. But anyway, yeah, so this was a bit of a different setup because I did have my usual, like, on this side of my to-dos and then my YouTube to-dos. But then down here, I decided to mark down what I was grateful for instead. And I actually really liked it. Again, I fell off on the weekend, but that's not abnormal, right? Yeah, I had marked in about this Coffee Monsters Co. anniversary sale, but Unfortunately, I did not get to participate in that, which is fine. I just kind of thought about it and decided that I could spend my money in a better way elsewhere. And so I opted to not even look at the sale, which is sad. I don't think I've ever bought anything from their anniversary sale. Maybe one day, but anyway. So moving on. Oh, and also my husband's tooth cracked. I think he was eating like spaghetti or something. So I actually got to use this cute little emoji like cleaning tooth thing. It was pretty funny. I was super happy that I got to use that. Not necessarily that he cracked his tooth though. Anyway, moving on. So this next week I went all out. So I am definitely more of a floral person. And so like I've decided to give myself like 1 week every month ish that I do florals. And so this was the week where my only parameter that I gave myself was florals. Throw all the flowers out there. And so I got to use these purple flower stickers, which kind of reminded me a little bit of the monthly, but not quite, because the monthly was definitely like a darker floral, but still I did enjoy this setup because I also got to pull in some pinks, a little bit of green. I got to use some thin washi tape. Probably the thing that surprised me the most about this layout was how much I really liked the ink of the week that I chose, which was Ferris Wheel Press Royal Rhubarb. And I actually did like an ink planning video, and even in that video I even said how surprised I was and how worried I was that I may have chosen the wrong color, because it's such a it doesn't really match the washi tape or the stickers per se, but I started writing in it and I was like, man, I'm so glad that I actually chose this ink, because if I'd have chosen purple or the greens or even a pink, I feel like it just wouldn't have popped quite as much. So yeah, I started reading the Grace Lane on the 18th. I am still reading the Grace Lane. I am a very slow reader. And then, oh, my friend got really sick, and so I actually had 2 days where I had to do a couple of errands for her. And then me and my husband found The Pit. We started watching The Pit on the 19th, and we binged it. I actually wound up staying up super late so we could binge several episodes of it until I was finally like, oh, I'm gonna regret this, and finally went to bed. But yeah, I think it's been basically every video now that I've said. But if you don't have a weak stomach, if you don't mind not even dramas, maybe, then absolutely look into The Pit. It is a phenomenally done show, and we really like it at my house. So on Thursday the 20th, we took our brindle pup Ethel, who I can show you a photo. So Ethel is right here. We had to take her to the vet. We've been going to the vet. We've gone a couple times now. She's got this horrible itchy rash. Like she'll scratch herself raw, and so she'll have these raw spots. And so we took her to the vet for an allergy test, because the last time we took her to the vet was like, hey, think we should do an allergy test, but we gotta wait until the prednisone or the steroid that we gave her has been, out of her system. So did that and got the allergy test. The allergy came back test came back, and homegirl is allergic to everything. The only food items that she's not allergic to is apples, turkey, rabbit, and pork. That's it. She's allergic to everything else. Potatoes, tomatoes, eggs, chicken, all of that allergic to. Rice, barley, allergic to that. I think she's also not allergic to like flaxseed or whatever, but like unreal. Anyway, so yeah, she's a mess, but we still love her. So did her allergy test then. My husband brought me coffee at work, so that was also chef's kiss. And then I had a few errands. This is also the day that Assassin's Creed came out, and my husband started playing that. I'm not a gamer, but he is. He's a gamer. I'm a journaler. And so it just works. Which is actually why you'll probably hear some tapping on keyboards in this video, because while I journal or I do videos and stuff, he's usually in the room gaming as well. We call it our together alone time. Anyway, moving on. So I started having issues with my computer at work, which was annoying. Then I had a quick lunch with Kelvin, my husband, before doing a doubleheader for softball. I had 2 doubleheaders that I had to cover. And then I came home and I just honestly, I rotted on the couch. And then the next day I had completely free. So my husband and I went to OKC and just made a day of it, and then had dinner with a friend of mine that I hadn't seen in about 4 years. So this week, this is the last week, almost, of March, and honestly, I don't think I've ever had this much fun before, making a spread. So I challenged myself this week to only do black and white. Obviously, there's some gold in there. I consider that an accent color, but pretty much I pulled anything that was black and white out of my stickers, or gray that would go with this theme, and that's what I used. And I also bought special Tombow Fudenosuke markers that specifically write on black paper, so that I could use them in this spread, and I enjoyed it so much. I also used Private Reserve's Infinity Black as my ink, and I had a ball. These are not stickers. You can kind of probably tell this one's not a sticker, but all of these, not stickers. I cut up cardstock, black cardstock, and I just wrote on it with those white Fudenosukes. It was so much fun. And of course, this all happened on a week where I didn't really have a ton going on to do, because I took the day off on Friday, the 28th, and we went on our trip with my family to Broken Bow, Oklahoma. I was going to write a quick snippet of how that went here, but I don't know if I'll go back in and add that or not. It's been a week or two. Has it only been? Wow, it's right at a week. That was just a week ago. Anyway, and so yeah, I don't know if I'll actually get that done or not, but overall, loving this spread. I had some little pieces of paper that were just old magazine articles that I pasted in. It was so much fun, and all of these black and gray and white stickers, they came from so many different places, because I haven't been using darker themed stuff ever. And so it was nice to get to use that. So super stoked. I will absolutely be doing this again because I had so much fun. All right, this is technically into April, but it does have one day that is still March. So, yeah, this was the day I took Monday off because I knew I would be zapped from the Broken Bow trip. So I went ahead, took that day off, and used it. We slept in. I got a few things, errands done. Then I came back, relaxed, napped, lawnmower woes. So our lawnmower that we bought last year is broken down. So we actually took it to the shop, or my husband did, earlier this week. And so they're hopefully going to fix it. And then I got some me time. So that's pretty much it in the weeklies for my planner. I see we're at 30 minutes. This is going to be an unbelievably long video. Oh, this is all in February. All right, so this was the vellum that I chose to separate the month of March from the month of February, right? So if you've seen a couple of these, then you know I choose a vellum, a different vellum for every month to basically block out and divide it between the months. And so this one, it's this beautiful, oh, I love it. Got it from Joann's. Went back to see if they had more in their going out of business sale, and they didn't. So, yeah. Anyway, so stats for March. My wellness that I was tracking is my weight. It fluctuated, but it's very interesting because it seems to do that a little bit on me. Anyway, I also tracked my YouTube stats. So I started off the month having only 26 videos posted, ended with 35. So I posted 9 videos. My likes went up to 99 from 63. The views almost doubled for me. And then my subscribers did double, or a little more than doubled, which was pretty cool. I technically did this the day before the 31st. So I actually wound up hitting, I think, 30 subscribers before the month of March ended, which was pretty cool. Instagram didn't really do a whole lot more on that because I don't really post. I had like 2 posts. And then my ink of the month was Wearing Goals Persephone. And I took this grading approach. So I've seen Karina Loves to Plan do it. And then I think Simone as well does some form. I've seen several people on YouTube do it. And so I was like, I kind of wouldn't mind doing that. And so I did. So for the ink, I gave it a 7. For the flow, I gave it like a 6 because it was very dry. And I actually really appreciate wet inks versus dry ones. And so that's why it kind of got lower levels. I do have a whole bottle of this. I love the color, but I just don't like how dry it is. And I do use it in a medium TWSBI. So I don't think it's the pen. I really feel like it's more so just it's a drier ink for whatever reason. Also, I have been doing prompts this whole year, and yeah, you can't see all of the prompts. Oh, you can see all the mess though. Anyway, so I did this little foldy deal so that I could have all 31 of my prompts there. I really liked how that turned out, but I don't know that I'm going to write out all of my prompts here again. I'm just going to keep them on my phone and look at my phone when I'm setting up for the week. What else? Yeah, I had goals for the month of March, and I wrote those down on the 1st of March. And then this is just kind of all that happened on March 2nd. I began reading Fire on March 2nd. It was an audiobook, and then I got this new pen, or a new mild liner in the color lavender. Love it. It's probably my favorite purple that I have. Oh, the 3rd, my TWSBI espresso came in, and so did my husband's first fountain pen, the Majan A1 press, which was super exciting. He loves it. I bought him a Jinhao 10, which he hasn't inked up yet because he's waiting until we go back to Chirps and Cheers to get a new ink for it, because he wants his own ink, and I'm so excited that he's into fountain pens, even if it's just like a little bit. I don't think he'll ever be on my scale, but that's okay. He appreciates them, and I appreciate that he appreciates fountain pens. So anyway, wrote about that, and I tried to make my journal pages go along with the theme of my weekly. It doesn't always work because I'm definitely a most of the time journaler, but sometimes I just hit points in a week or a month where I don't have time to journal, or I just don't have the energy. This was a birthday card from my mom, and so I went ahead and put it in here. I just put some tape on the top and bottom of it. Some more journaling. I started getting so tired in the month of March, and I swear it's carried over into April. Yeah, see, so tired again. And then still tired. So there's definitely a theme here. March 13th, I had a huge rant that I wanted to keep to myself. And then, let's see. Oh, this is my all-time favorite quote. I actually tell my patients or anybody all the time, like, this quote or a similar, basically the essence of this quote, if you will, but it's do the best you can until you know better. Then when you know better, do better. And it's by Maya Angelou, and it's so true. Like, just do what you can with the knowledge that you have, and then when you learn to do better, you know? Yeah, rough day at work there. Oh, and then I found out, so I had already done my journaling for the evening, and then I had my chat with my mom, and it's that my aunt and uncle are actually moving back to where my mom lives in Texas, and so I wanted to put that in. This sticker I got from the National Athletic Training Convention a couple years ago, and I just didn't have the strength or the want to write about my day, so I just slapped that in there to take up space. And then, yeah, more writing. Oh, this is a birthday card from my friend Dana. She bought me a new fountain pen, which I was super happy about. It's one that I had kind of been wanting. I just hadn't bought it. And then, yeah, still tired, so tired. Something made me angry that day. And then, yeah, still having stuff there. Oh, and then this goes into my broken bow. So, I actually didn't journal the entire time that we were with my family at Broken Bow because we were having family time. However, I did do back journaling, which I don't usually do, but I wanted to document just all the things because it was a good trip. So after my family and us had like split ways, my husband and I actually found a coffee shop in Broken Bow before we left, and we just spent probably an hour or so at a place called the Local Habit Coffee Co., and that was like their symbol for the shop. And yeah, we just hung out there, and I journaled for a while, and it was a lot of fun. So, and this was on that black and white week. So as you can see, I used all my black and white stuff except for this sticker. And then this is me talking about how it was such a good call for me to take the day off work. And then I closed out my month right here. You know, just talking about monthly highlights. I don't think I even went into any goals that I did or didn't meet and stuff like that. And then we go into April, which I will show y'all at the end of April. So that is a very long video, but hopefully all of y'all enjoyed it. Looks like it's gonna be about 41-ish minutes. So hopefully I didn't ramble too much. Let me know how your planners are going and stuff. Are they getting pretty thick, or are you somebody who doesn't use a lot of stickers or tip ins and stuff? Let me know about it. Thank you for watching this if you made it all the way through. And if you did, consider giving it a like. And maybe if you haven't subscribed, consider subscribing. But if not, I'll see you in the next video. Bye.